Hello everyone and welcome back to Digital Citizenship. It's April 21st, 2020. Today we'll be learning about copyright law and creators' rights. What rights do you have as a creator? Our objective today is that students will be able to understand that copyright is a legal system that protects a person's rights to creative work. You will have another list of vocabulary. There are 8 words. And of course, you're not going to be able to see them all just in this video, but once you're working through the Nearpod, you'll have a link to the Quizlet with the 8 words. I'm going to ask you to study that for a few minutes. Also, I've provided a link in KidBlog. So if you need to access these words in the future, you don't have to come back to this Nearpod. You can just go to KidBlog and the copyright terms are right there. You click on that link and all the terms will be right there for you. So we're going to start off by just doing some reflection. Think about a time you created something. When you wrote down an idea, took a picture or video of something, made a piece of art, or uploaded something you made to the internet. Think about it. What was it? Now, can you think of a time when you used someone else's work in something that you created? You may have used books for a school project. You may have used magazine photos in a collage that you made. You may have used someone else's pictures in a PowerPoint you created, or someone's video or music clips. When we create something, it's automatically copyrighted. We have protections in place to make sure others don't use our work and say it's theirs. This protection is called copyright. Copyright is an important law that helps protect the rights of creators so they receive credit and get paid for their work. Most things you find, download, copy, and paste from the internet are copyrighted. It's okay to use the things that you find online as long as you check who created it, get permission to use it if needed, give credit to the creator, buy it if that's required, and use it responsibly. If you aren't careful in how you use other people's work, you might be stealing. As I said, when we use other people's things we find online, we have to do it responsibly. We have to show our respect for other people's hard work and creativity by giving credit where credit is due. In this section, I'm going to give you some additional background about copyright. You have a form to complete that you can find in Schoology. As I'm giving you this information, you need to watch this video and fill out that form. So what does that look like? So you went to Schoology and you clicked on today's assignment, which is a creator's rights. And once you're in the assignment, you're going to read through this information because that tells you what you need to do for today's lesson. At this point in the lesson, you need to open up this form. It's a Microsoft form called a creator's rights. As I go through the notes, first thing you need to do is type your name. I'm just going to type mine, Ms. R. And then you're going to click next. And then you're going to go through it and record fill in the blanks for where I've left blanks in the notes for you. Make sure you're doing that as you're going through this recording because that way you won't have to try to remember what it is I said. So right now you should be in your Microsoft form and you should be ready to fill in the first couple of blanks. So again, I said this is copyright, some additional background, and copyright, as you know, because you just looked over the definitions, is a law that protects your control over the creative work you make so that people must get your permission before they copy, share, or perform your work. So the first bullet, when you have an idea and record it, it is automatically copyrighted. So here you have the first answer to your fill in the blank questions on your Microsoft form. When you have an idea and record it, it's automatically copyrighted. You have the right to decide how others use your creative work. Nobody else can pretend it's theirs. They can, but they shouldn't. They shouldn't copy, share, or perform your work without your permission. Copyright makes sure you get credit for your work. Next, it does not matter if a work is in blank or blank, it is still copyrighted. And the answer here is hard copy or digital form. It is still copyrighted. All recorded work is automatically copyrighted even if it doesn't have the C copyright symbol. Registering your work with the U.S. Copyright Office isn't necessary, but it makes it easier for legal protection. Ideas, common knowledge and facts, U.S. government documents, works in the public domain, and spontaneous acts of expression are not copyrighted. If someone wants to use a copyrighted work, unless it says otherwise, they first have to get your permission. To get permission, you can email, call, or write a letter to the creator. The only exceptions to this are fair use, public domain, and Creative Commons. So we just mentioned public domain. What's that? Public domain is creative work that's not copyrighted and therefore free for you to use however you want. Copyrights don't last forever. In most cases, they expire 70 years after the death of the creator. So things that are hundreds of years old are not copyrighted anymore. And that's why if you search online, you can find full text for things that were written a long time ago. So basically all of Shakespeare's plays or anything by Mark Twain, things like that, anything that's really old, as long as the family hasn't carried on a written copyright, and some may, in most cases they expire 70 years after the death of the creator. We also mentioned Creative Commons. Creative Commons is a kind of copyright that makes it easier for people to copy, share, and build on your creative work, as long as they give you credit for it. You'll see in the video clip that we're going to watch here in a few minutes, Nicole, who is a writer and she publishes some of her writing online, she uses a Creative Commons license, and you'll hear her talk about that. The key here is that a regular copyright is an all rights reserved model, meaning you have to ask permission anytime you want to use something that has a regular copyright. A Creative Commons license, however, is a newer, some rights reserved model, more suitable for online sharing. If someone uses a Creative Commons license, they are allowing for more flexibility with their copyrighted work to be copied and shared. So they can put right in that license, you can share if you give me credit and you don't make money on it, for example. There are other options too, which we will discuss later. As I said, there are different kinds of Creative Commons licenses that allow people to do things such as change, remix, or make money from your work. You pick and choose how you want your work to be used and then create a Creative Commons license. That's the next word, is license, which functions as symbols that you include in your work. For instance, you might say someone can use your work as long as that person doesn't make a profit from it, or as long as the person doesn't alter or change it. It's important in all cases to acknowledge and give credit, can't say that enough, give credit to the work you use, whether it's regular copyright, Creative Commons, or fair use. So finally, you are all creators, we are all creators. Keep that in mind as we watch the video about Nicole, who's a writer and shares her writing online. Pay close attention to the benefits and the risks involved with her publishing online, because there will be a few questions after. When you're completing those questions, you can replay the video. I've included them in the Nearpod as a reference. And if you forgot something, you can go back to that video and replay it as many times as you need. Okay, so that's all I have for you here. Just another reminder that when you're going through the Nearpod slides, a lot of the slides have audio attached, and you should be listening to that audio, as the audio gives you extra information that you need for the lesson.